Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing today? I trust that everything is going well with you and that no matter what you have to go through, no matter what you have to face, that you're going to stand up, hold your head up high, and make those steps that you got to take. No matter what, you're gonna get through. Just take the proper steps and you'll get through. How about that? All right, today I want to talk about a very sensitive story, a very sensitive um, situation that has been happening for years now, many years by different women doing this to men. And what I'm talking about is women, stop holding your child over your father's head, their father's head. Stop denying your children the rights to be with their father. When you chose to lay down with the man that got you pregnant, it was nobody's choice but yours and his, not unless you were raped. And in that case, there's some different issues there. But on the most part, ladies, we lay down with a man on our own. Nobody forced you to lay down with him. And truth be told, he didn't force you to lay down with you. You the one that laid down, opened your legs, and decided you were going to have fun for the night. You're going to have fun. And this fun ended up with a pregnancy. I know. And usually this kind of stuff happens when you're around 16, when your first baby, when you first lay down, in your first pregnancy. You usually get pregnant around 16. I'm a witness. I was 16 when I got pregnant. I was 16 when I got married. Um, it was a choice that I made. It was a choice that he made. So we made this choice together to lay down. And what happened? I got pregnant. I got pregnant. I did. Now, the thing about my age group, when a girl got pregnant, she was forced to marry the father. And like you want to call it a shotgun wedding, you can pretty much call it that without shotgun. And how I ended up being married, but we married, okay? So that ended the relationship of where I was going. I married, okay? And I had my children with their father, okay? Now, there are you guys that have gotten pregnant by a man that usually, as I said, the majority of the time, you're going to get pregnant on that first go around. For some reason, your body is in the right position to receive what that man has left within you. Now you have a child. Now, the worst thing you can do as a mother is to deny the father his rights. He has rights. And to deny him his rights to be a part of his life, the child's life, it's wrong and you know it. But for whatever reason, you made your choice to say, I don't want nothing to do with that man. You get that man out here. Don't you ever speak about that man again in my life. You're holding a lot of issues about something you agreed to. Again, as I said, not unless it was rape. It wasn't rape. So you can't say he raped you. No, you voluntarily laid down, opened your leg, gave him your body, and allowed him to use you or abuse you in whatever sense he did. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, you got to tell him the news you're pregnant. I'm pregnant. The first thing he may say, that ain't mine. How many of you heard that? That ain't my child. What are you talking about? You've been messing around with so and so and so and so. And there may be some truth in what he's saying. And you may know there's some truth in what he's saying because you done had boyfriends before him. So don't act so innocent that and act like that you're so holy that you didn't do anything wrong in this relationship because you did everything wrong in the relationship. You gave it up without having the relationship first. Now all of a sudden you're angry and you're taking out the relationship between your child and the father. Seriously, now you're up there abusing your child, teaching your child to hate their father because of something you did. That child didn't do nothing to their father. They ain't had a chance to do nothing to their father. Why? Because you won't let them. A child has a right to be in their father's life. Now, they have a right to determine whether they want to love their father, hate their father on their own. Either they're going to love them or they're going to hate them, but it's their decision to make, not yours. So for you to be holding up all of this ugliness in your heart against your baby daddy is so ugly. Now, let me stop right there and mention because of your heart and your actions, because of what's in your heart, the hatred that's in your heart. Let me bring this here to mind. The Lamb's Book of Life. For you that don't know what the Lamb's Book of Life is, we all have one. And where is the Lamb's Book of Life? In heaven with God in a library. And it's recording our everyday life. It's recording the good, the bad, the ugly, the best, the worst, and everything that we do. It records the unforgiveness in your heart. It records your ugliness towards your baby's father. It records the non-relationship that you want or don't want your child to have with their father. It's recording this. The ugly words that are being spoken out of your heart, it is recording this. Now, I brought the Lamb's Book of Life up because a lot of you don't pay attention or even know about the Lamb's Book of Life. The Lamb, Lambs, Book of Life. It's a story about you, where you are the author of this book. No one else has control over this book. Only you. Each one of us have a book. Each one of us, our lives are being recorded. So if you don't want a certain thing recorded in your book of life, I would suggest not doing it. Because once it's written, it's written. The one thing about the Lamb's Book of Life, it doesn't have an eraser. Now, you can correct issues. You can ask forgiveness to make corrections. You can correct everything you did wrong in your life that's written in the Lamb's Book of Life. You can you can create it and protect it. You are the creator of your book. Okay? I wanted to stop there to let you know how important your life, your actions to your life, your actions are being written in the Lamb's Book of Life, where you are the author. Now, let's go back to the love, the hate, the ugliness, the evilness that is coming out of you because of your baby's daddy. That it's being recorded. If you have not sought forgiveness for these things, it is recorded to the fact that you never asked for forgiveness for your actions in this. See, your actions have everything to do with whether your relationship between your baby's daddy and that child can have a healthy relationship. Now, it depends. You don't, majority of the time, the man that we lay down with the first go around, second go around, third go around, fourth, fifth, and sixth, they were not your husband. They were just someone that you were attracted to, someone that you thought to be interesting, that you decided that okay, let's see where this is gonna go. Next thing you know, y'all have decided, and I said y'all, you both decided to lay down, to have sex, and surprise, a baby's coming. Surprise! I'm pregnant. Now, all of a sudden, the hell starts. One, maybe you thought the man loved you enough to marry you. No, he didn't know you enough to want to marry you. He only slept with you. He didn't learn nothing else about you other than the fact that you gave up your body quick and in a hurry. You did that. So he don't know you. Now, should you get married because you got pregnant? I did. I was forced to. Uh, so that era of history, it's gone. Because when I came up, I promised myself if any of my children ever got pregnant out of wedlock, I was not going to have that. That's on them. I'm not going to force them to marry that man. Marrying a man just because you got pregnant by him, that is not necessarily a good relationship building material. I've been there. I know it didn't work. I didn't want to marry him. He didn't want to marry me. But because there was a child and he held up his responsibility to me and his child. Now, was he a good father? That's for him as his children to determine. It's not for me to say. Because with me, I refuse to let or to have me determine how my children were to love their father. That was not my place. My place was to raise my children, for them to make that decision of their relationship with their father on their own. Because what he and I had in our relationship is going to be completely different than a father-daughter or son and father's relationship. This is completely different. A child needs their father. And for you to sit there and say, I don't want nothing to do with that so and so and so and so and so and so, and you know your ugly heart. Just remember that ugly heart being written. That's being written. There's words being written. You spoke them, then record it. Just like I'm recording now, this is how our Lamb's Book of Life is recording us. But it is important that you let that child determine whether they want to love their father or hate their father on their own. That relationship is based upon them, not you. Your failed relationship with him has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with their relationship. If you still wanted a decent relationship with the baby's father, you would have acted like you had decent sense or common sense, and you built a relationship because you knew you had a child together. And you build a relationship, an adult relationship with each other, so the father can take care of his child. He's supposed to take care of his child. He's supposed to be a part of that child's life. It is not your place as a mother to determine and to throw off your hatred of that man that got you pregnant, that you laid down with, and you determine you're going to hate him for the rest of your life. All right? You can do that. But remember, when your child gets of age, they are going to seek out their father or their mother, whichever one. It could be the father raising the child and the mother's not in the picture. And it could be the roles reversed. Because we do have that. We do have where the mother's left and the father's raised the children. I know a man, he raised 6 daughters by himself. He said, why would I want another woman in the house? I got 6 of them. And I understood that. But the point is, it's your responsibility to build a decent adult relationship with the baby's father. Bottom line. You can hold all kind of grudges and be all kind of mean. You can. But that child, when he gets of adult age, will seek out mom or daddy. And in this case, I'm talking about mama's holding that child over that man's head. You can't see him until you pay me, blah, 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 blah. You can't see him until you buy me this. You can't do this until you do this. Oh, that's ugly. Ugly. How can you not see how ugly that is? You can even see the ugliness in how in me just describing it. It don't make me look pretty. Hatred. It's ugly. Hatred. towards your baby's daddy. You need to get over that. But do you need to listen to me? No. Mm-mm. No. Do you need to take my advice? No. I would hope you would. Um, I would hope that you would take in consideration that your child, your son, your daughter, they need that relationship with their father. Good, bad, ugly, best, whatever it is. They deserve to have that. Let your children determine the love or the hate that they have for their father on their own. If he misused the child will know it. The child will back off. If he loves the child will know it. The child feels it. The child will respond. We as adults need to begin to start acting like responsible adults instead of children that you were when you first laid down at the age of 15, 16. Now, ladies, have you ever watched, I don't know what the name of that show is, the one about the baby daddy and the mama's trying to determine the baby's daddy and taking them to court? And how many of you have seen women have to take 6, 7, 8, 9 men into court to determine who's the father? That's your fault. Your fault. You determined to lay down without protection. Now, when I was coming up, there was no birth control. There was Vaseline. And some of y'all may not know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Vaseline, but those of you that are my age and above know about the Vaseline. Okay? Birth control pills didn't come out until later on in my years. So there was no birth control. You couldn't control whether you got pregnant or not. And nowadays they got the night after pill that can easily abort a baby if you decided to lay down with a man and all of a sudden you take a pill to destroy your baby. I would have never thought about that, of giving up my child in that manner. Now, you have abortions, yes. There are times when abortions are needed, especially if the mother's health is at risk and it is necessary for an abortion. But to the most part, most babies will survive. Some may have issues or whatever the case may be, but I'm not trying to go that way and encourage abortions because I'm not encouraging that either. But you won't need an abortion if you protect yourself up front. These days, we have birth control, and it's up to you. Can't nobody make you take them. It's up to you to go to the doctor. It's up to you to ask for birth control, the best type of birth control for you. I had an IUD put in and had it taken out, but because it had issues, so there are many ways for birth control to avoid these mama, baby, daddy dramas. Okay? Baby daddies. drama that can hurt the child. These dramas are destroying your children's happiness because of your selfishness, because of your ugly heart, because you decided that you're going to hate him, because you decided that you didn't want the father in your child's life, that you deliberately kept your child from their father. All of this is being written in your Lamb's Book of Life. It's not getting ready to be erased either. As I said, you can correct your actions to erase the error, but you just simply cannot erase what is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Now, ladies, I know this is a topic that you don't want to don't want to pay attention to, but I ask that you get your heart right. Don't do that don't hold that child over your child's life over the baby daddy's head. Don't do that. Be a better mother. Be a better example of life. Show your child's love, even if you got to provide father's love. Be a good mama. But don't be that ugly woman that I don't want nothing to do with that man. He's ugly. I wish he was there. I want blah, blah, all that. All of that is being written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Okay? Now I hope that I was a blessing. This was a blessing. And that no matter what you're going through, just love. Love. Love shows up better in the Lamb's Book of Life than hate does. Love guarantees you a step in heaven. Love guarantees you a place in heaven. Hate doesn't. Evil doesn't. In fact, hate and evil sends you into the other direction. But it's your call. It's your life. You have to live it. But I'm just here just to explain this a little bit. Don't do it. Forgive. Let the child have a relationship with their father. And let that child determine the love or the hate. Let them determine that for themselves. Okay? I trust that for those of you that continue to listen, that you were totally blessed and that you learned something and that you said, oh, I need to change this. And you do. All right? I love you. And you remember that God loves you too. And He's looking at your book. And remember, you're the author. You have a blessed day.